Happy Thursday, everyone. Question of the day. Would you risk your life, to go see the Titanic? That's a legitimate question. Would you risk your life to submerge down deep, deep, deep in the ocean just to actually see Titanic? And that's the question of the day. Would you do it? Would you pay top dollars to do that? And we're going to dive in and talk about it. And you're going to find out the reason why I'm asking that question. Welcome back, everyone, to That's It. So I just finished watching the documentary of Netflix of Titan, the OceanGate disaster, the submarine that went down in the ocean back on 2023, and the submarine exploded. And when I first heard the story and when the story broke, one of my coworkers told me about it, like five people are not stranded, but stuck in the ocean, and they can't. The submarine can't not be surfaced up. And I'm like, what? What's going on? And then when she showed me the article and the news and everything that was happening, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just crazy. Like five people are in the middle of the ocean somewhere, and then the submarine cannot surface back up because they were so way deep down that there was no way for them to be surfaced up. And then I told her at the time, this so reminds me of Titanic. It's just crazy. And the funny thing is, when I said that to her, and then she told me, you know what, they were doing an expedition of Titanic, meaning that that submarine was they had the five people, four people included the CEO, were looking for the Titanic to basically sightsee, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm saying to myself, what would possess someone to do that? Honestly, like what would possess someone to risk their life, everything that they have going for them to go see the actual Titanic, the ship? And I'm thinking to myself, was it worth it? Is it worth it? I can be quite honest with you guys. You couldn't pay me. I'm sorry. You can give me $1 million. I will turn it down. Yes, I will turn down $1 million tenfold. Because why? You know what I mean? There's museums, there's the movie, there's books about the history of Titanic, and I know and I get it. A lot of people are fascinated about it because it's been like 100 years since the Titanic has been down in the ocean, and I get it. It's very fascinating. A lot of people have died as well, and I'm like thinking, why? Like, what is the factuation of, going down there? You know what I mean? It's not like you can just leave the submarine and then just, walk in and see everything is just rust, dust. Everything is just, old. You know what I mean? And all you can do if you're in the submarine is just take pictures and then just tell and videos and then just tell people, hey, I was, a certain feet down there. What was it? I'm trying to think. What was the below like 3,800 meters, that's required for the submarine to go down there. And I believe there were there at the time or to reach the Titanic there. I'm like, you couldn't pay me enough because it's just scary. You don't know what can happen. Things can go wrong and sometimes things can go right. And I'm saying to myself, I just don't understand what possessed someone to do that. And at the time, I didn't really know the people that were in the submarine. All I was thinking that I just kept praying and praying that I hope they the Coast Guards will find them in time, because they only had a certain amount of time of oxygen before the oxygen ran out, and then that's it. It's donezo. So I kept praying and hoping, to be honest with you, they would be rescued and they can just tell their story or do a documentary or, just tell their experience. They were like close to death and they were found. And, there was a countdown of how much oxygen they had left. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, I thought that they would be rescued. I thought it was going to be a happy ending after, especially with this disaster. And sure enough, it was done. They no longer the submarine exploded. They were gone. You know what I mean? And at the time, were I didn't know the people in the submarine until I watched the documentary and got more into depth and more understanding how this happened, why this happened, and it made more sense to me. And I just want to show you a clip of the people were in the submarine. Now I don't know the two gentlemen on my left and my right. Obviously, I don't remember their names. Let me just say that I don't remember the names because I did watch the documentary. I don't remember the names, so forgive me. I do remember the one in the middle, the CEO, Stockton Rush, and the father, and then the son. And the son did not want it to go. Okay, it said it in the documentary. The son pleaded to the father, "I don't want to go," but the father was like, "Tom, this is a lifetime experience. You have to go. You have to, take a risk." And I'm just paraphrasing here, and take a chance and just do it. And the son, sure enough, did it, and he did not want it to go. He didn't want it to go originally, and all of them are no longer with us, and that's a very sad situation that happened on 2023. Now, my thing is, I understand the evacuation of Titanic. People want to know what happened. Obviously, you've seen the movie, you've read the stories, the books of what happened. But my thing is, what will possess someone to do that? Like, I just don't understand. You know what I mean? And this is the picture of, Titanic before it went down. And a beautiful ship, you know what I mean? Beautiful. A lot of people died, from the iceberg, the wreckage and stuff like that, which they were warned back in those days. I believe this happened in 1912, I believe. Let me check my research. Yeah, so the wreck of British ocean liner Titanic lies on a depth about 12,500 feet and 3,800 meters. And it was located southwest of the off coast of Newfoundland. It lies in two main pieces, about 2,000 feet apart. And it says here, a collision with an iceberg. This happened in April 15 of 1912. This like 113 years ago. Wow, that's history. That's history. And I understand, the evacuation and the history, but what would possess someone? I'm sorry, someone to go down there in that deep water, that deep ocean, to see this? I'm sorry, like you can't look at a picture, you can't watch the movie. Like I get it, it's fascinating and it's amazing to see if you're in a submarine and you can take pictures and videos. But my gosh, is it worth your life? Apparently, for some people, except for the exception of that teenager boy, he did not want to go. He was fearful for his life. But again, is this worth it? But apparently, with Stockton Rush, it was worth it for him because he really wanted to do it. He really wanted to make history and make a name for himself. He wanted to be the next Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. He wanted to, do this expedition and have people, be involved and just to be a part of this, this big history that this submarine can take you down deep into the ocean so you can actually see Titanic. Now, and then people are like saying, what went wrong? And I'm like, and then when I watched the documentary, and I'm not going to give it all out to you because I want you, if you guys are interested to watch it, that's fine. But I just don't want to give it away. But when people ask the question, what went wrong? And then after I watched that documentary, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Like every sign of the submarine that it wouldn't work was mentioned, was informed to everyone, to the CEO, to the board, the people that were in charge, Rush wife, because she was involved in this too. Everyone was told that this was not going to work. There was issues, okay? Meaning, when I said issues, that there was cracking and in the submarine. There was like a loud popping noise, okay? Which I'm going to show you a clip of. But let me tell you something. If I was in there and I heard a loud popping noise, you best believe it. Get me the hell out of there. Bring the submarine up to surface, and I will never get inside again. First of all, I would have never even be inside. But you get what I'm saying. Like, if it was me and I heard that loud popping noise, forget about it. Forget about it. And this was addressed to him, the CEO, Stockton. It was addressed to him, and he disregarded. He disregarded every safety issues as possible because he did not care. He disregarded it. And I'm thinking, why? The $1 million question is, why did you disregard all the main concern that was presented to him? Why did he disregard that everything that people were telling him about the submarine, about the and I took notes about the fiber, the carbon fiber. You know what I mean? How it was like the cost was less. It was a little bit more sufficient, and they just wanted to focus on the cost. Excuse me, the cost. Keep saying it. The low cost, and they wanted to keep running schedule because I guess they had a certain time when they wanted to go with a few people for the expedition to go see to go to see Titanic. Excuse me, the ship, and everything was presented to Stockton, and he disregarded it. He fired people. He screamed at them. He yelled at them. I'm like, my gosh, like, would it be more common sense? Safety, follow safety protocols, follow the codes, the codes and regulations and something like that before you even submerge down there. He's risking people's life. You know what I mean? If he wants to risk his own life and go down there, that's fine because he is a CEO, he is a billionaire, so why not? But to risk other people's life and not follow the codes, not follow the safety protocols, it's just crazy and beyond me. And things were given to him and he disregarded it because, again, when you're a billionaire, you feel like you just like know it all. You feel like, you don't have to answer to anyone. You're always right. You have that arrogance. And my thing is, I don't understand. You hire these people, engineers, people who have experience, and then you just disregard what they're advising you. You're the CEO, and then when I watched the documentary, he wanted to be involved in everything. Like he was like in charge, basically, in charge of the whole operation. And I'm thinking, you hire these people because you like what you saw on the resume, okay? And then they're doing their job and they're telling you that there's certain things that you need to tweak or certain things that you need to fix, and you just brush it off and say, no, this is good. No, this is good. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And that's the impression that I got when I was watching the documentary. I'm like, this is just crazy. This is just crazy. I'm like, what is the rush? What is the rush to get there? For me, I'd rather do it 10,000 times and make sure it's good, make sure it's accurate, so I won't be liable of other people. Because safety is important, but I guess with Stockton, he didn't care about safety. He didn't really care about it at all. All the warning signs and everything, he didn't care because again, the carbon fiber, it was lighter, it was cheaper material, excuse me, and he didn't care about that. He really didn't. And it's just really sad that, you have these rich billionaire people who have nothing better to do but to create this small, tiny submarine and have 5 people in there, and then they pay X amount of money to see Titanic. For what? And I'm saying to myself, leave these souls alone. You know what I mean? That ship been there for 113 years. Why even mess with it? Why even entertain it? Leave the souls alone. I keep telling people that. Leave them alone. The souls of those people at Titanic. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why? And I get it. I get the factuation. I get it. But that's why they have museums. That's why they have books. Why go down there, down in the ocean, deep in the ocean to see what? Rust, dust? Things that you can't even go and walk in personally yourself. You just go take videos and pictures. I'm sorry. No life is worth seeing a shipwreck of Titanic. I get the whole history behind it. I really do. But I wouldn't do that at all, to be honest with you. So I want to show you the video of the popping noise that Stockton heard and he just brushed it off like nothing, basically. Oops, sorry. It's pretty loud.
That will get your attention.
Hell yeah, that would get my attention. Get me the fuck out of there. That's what I would have said. Excuse my language. That's exactly what I said. If I keep hearing that, get me the fuck out of there. Okay? No effing way. There's no way. I would freak the app out. And you heard it in his mouth. You know what I mean? I can get your attention. Yeah. You got my attention. Get me the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And that's what I was talking about. The engineers and other people that were inside the submarine, they told him it keeps popping, popping, popping. It was loud, loud popping noise. And they told him, but he disregarded. And I'm going to show you another clip of the design. Now, this design, I don't know how people were okay with this. So the whole submarine, there's only one entrance. Is in the front. It's like a little circle, which I'm going to show you the video. And there's no way. That's the only entrance. It's not like there's like a entrance door on the side or on the other side. It's just that main entrance, this circle, to get in and to get out. And I'm like, that is so weird. And I'm claustrophobic as it is. Just to imagine having 4 other people sitting there. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I'm going to show you a clip of the design of the submarine.
That imploded and killed 5 passengers in June. Unlike most other submersibles, Titan's hull was shaped like a pill, which fit more passengers. A sphere has been the industry standard known.
So let me start right there. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine sitting right there, and then the only entrance is right here to get in and to get out? It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
To be better suited for deep sea pressures. When pressure is applied to a pill shape, it's distributed disproportionately and may cause it to collapse, similar to a soda can being crushed. The whole central cylinder used carbon fiber, not the more expensive titanium used in other submersibles. Photographs published by OceanGate show that the Titan was constructed by winding layers of carbon fiber around a cylindrical form. Carbon fiber handles stresses far better in tension than compression. It resists pulling for a while before breaking, but collapses or buckles if pushed on or compressed. Titan's carbon fiber shell was glued to titanium rings on either end. Under the immense sea pressures, the hull's carbon fiber would compress in diameter more quickly than the titanium, placing stress on the glue joint. Most deep-sea craft undergo costly rounds of inspection and testing, but the Titan didn't obtain those.
You see what I'm saying? Pause. Inspection. They didn't do that. Why? Red flag, the popping sounds. No inspection. They didn't follow the codes. That's a red flag. And he knew all this. He knew all this, and he disregarded that. You know what I mean? So people are saying, who's to blame? What went wrong? Obviously, it's the CEO's fault. I'm sorry. Even though he's dead, but someone needs to take accountability. And the other people, they knew about it because other employees, ex-employees, when they went to court and testified, they mentioned it so many times. Yes, I sent emails that this was not equipped. This was not appropriate, safe. You know, I sent emails. I gave my recommendation, and he just flat out just turned me down. Basically just told me to be quiet, or I'm going to let you go, I'm going to fire you, or I'm going to have congressmen, I will pay congressmen and they would be in my back pocket, blah, blah, blah. Basically, he's just using his power, he's CEO, to back him up if his employee work with him, like follow his instructions, basically. And some of them left. Some of them quit, like, no, I'm not going to take the heat. I'm not going to take any responsibility when shit hits the fan. And some people quit. Good for them. However, they had records of sending emails to stockmen, sending emails to people higher up, and guess what happened? Ignore them. They ignore all the red flags. So who's involved? Who's to blame? All those people that the employees reached out to other people, and they did nothing. They did nothing about it. So people knew, and then they just kept their mouth shut because it's all about money. It's all about money. It's all about, just doing this expedition and just having people pay all this crazy, disgusting money just to see a damn shipwreck. Crazy.
The CEO of OceanGate Expeditions said that the testing stifled innovation. Until the Titan disaster on June 18th, no one had ever died while piloting or riding a submersible into the deep sea, a record that lasted nearly a century.
A century. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Not me. No. So, I feel bad for the families that they lost their loved ones. However, and you may call me harsh, you may call me heartless, but these people are stupid. Besides the exception of the teenager, because he did not want it to go. He was scared, but his dad talked him into it, and he went. But I don't understand these people that decided they wanted to go. They're a bunch of idiots. I'm sorry. You have these rich people have nothing better to do to spend money on this small submarine to go see a shipwrecked Titanic. Why? Why? Because they're bored. They're bored. They don't have nothing else to do. Now, I saw comments that people glad that happened to them, that was their fault that they died. Listen, I don't wish any harm, ill will on anyone that passed away. However, I'm going to criticize you and criticize the company that they knew about this and they did nothing. They should have put a stop to this. They should have put a stop to this and told stop and listen. This is not appropriate. Meaning, it's not appropriate code. You're violating all the violations of this, and this is not safe. And people have been telling you this is not safe, and you keep doing it. You know what I mean? I guess because you're a CEO and you can't just tell anybody. And they told him. They told other people, and they ignore all the warnings. So then, well, you can't turn around and say, oh, what happened? What went wrong? Hello? It went wrong with the CEO. It went wrong with the other people that the employees told other people about this, that this is not equipped to go under. You're hearing the popping noise. You're hearing the cracking. You're hearing stuff burst out. My gosh, this guy, the CEO guy, was using a video game remote to control the submarine. How crazy, which I'm going to show you the last footage of that. That's freaking crazy. To me, that's not safe. If I saw that, I'm like, get me the hell out of here. There's no freaking way that I'm going to get into that submarine and some man, CEO, okay, who's not even equipped to use, to pilot that submarine, okay? That's what he hired people for, who's more professional to do that. But again, he's the type of man that he's very, not condescending, narcissist, that he wants to be in charge, he wants to control, he thinks he can do everything. When you're a CEO, that's why you pay people to do the things that you want to get done. That you have a vision, okay, and then you have it. That's why when people start a business, stuff like that, there's roles in place. You know what I mean? Obviously people can't do everything. Some people can. You know what I mean? People have different roles. Like people have roles in doing photography. People have been doing roles doing editing, publishing, PR. You know what I mean? There's different roles for different things when you hire people, assistant. But with Stockton, he just wanted to do everything. He just wanted control of everything. That's why he fired people. And look what happened. He's dead now. Among the other people, it's just a shame. It's just a travesty. And it's just sad. And it breaks my heart. But whose fault is it? No one. You can't blame anyone but him and the people that were involved with this that were told. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I don't mean to be harsh here, but that's the facts. That's the facts. Because no one didn't tell him to do that. You know what I mean? If he would have followed the protocols and followed the rules and listened to his employees, everyone would have been alive by now. But no, it was a rush. What was the rush to get down there? Titanic ain't going nowhere. The Titanic been there for 113 years. Where is it going? What was the rush? That's the thing. What was the rush? When I was watching the documentary, what was the rush? What was the time crunch? I get it. People are investing in your business and stuff like that. But let me tell you something. If I invest in something and I know that it's a little bit risky, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make sure that it's done right and appropriately to make sure of the safety of my crew and among other people that's paying to go see the Titanic. But he didn't do that. He didn't care. It was just his arrogance what got in his way, his cockiness. And when you get arrogant and cockiness, that's when you make mistakes. That's when shit hits the fan and things happen that you can't turn back to. And that's what happened to these 5 people. They're gone. They're gone because that man didn't want to listen. He wanted to do it his way and his way only. And in the documentary, he said he would bet his life that that submarine will go down. Well, he ate his own words because now he's gone. Now he's gone. Now he's gone. Now I'm going to show you the last footage of Stockman before the submarine went missing and also exploded. Let's go.
We are inside the submersible Titan, which is a carbon fiber and titanium sub that can go to the depths of the Titanic. Hi, my name is Stockton Rush. I'm the CEO and founder of OceanGate. Let's take a look at Titan.
So you remember what I told you, and let me pause. Let me just, can I go back? Oh, it won't let me go back.
So we're coming into the sub.
Yeah.
This is the only toilet available on a deep diving submersible. Best seat in the house. You can look out the viewport. We put a privacy screen in, turn up the music, and it's very popular. We have our control screen here, our sonar screen here, and we can put any image we want in the back. We've taken a complete...
Pause. This is what I was telling you guys. A remote. A remote that you play video games. Like, what is this? This is crazy. You think, and this is not a red flag? This that was a concern? Really? A remote? Can you imagine going on a cruise ship and then the what are you calling it? Because I've never been on a cruise. The captain tells you, oh, you know, we just going to use this type of remote to move the cruise, move the boat. That would be concerning to me, wouldn't it? To you, that would be a red flag. Like, no, that's crazy, crazy.
New approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and
game controller. His words, game controller. Isn't that crazy?
These touch screens. So if you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you go back. Turn left, turn right.
Before I continue, even listen, a game controller. My niece can use that. Can you imagine one of your nieces, your nephew, your son or daughter, just have a game controller and just control the submarine? Can you imagine that?
Right, go down, go up. And it's Bluetooth, so I can hand it to anybody. And it's meant for a 16-year-old to throw it around, and it's super durable. We keep a couple of spares on board just in case. This is the second year.
Now, this is what I was telling you about earlier. You see that big circle? That's the entrance to get in and to get out. Isn't that crazy? That's the only way to get into that submarine and to get out. There's no other exit ways. And you would think, God forbid something happens, there's an exit way. No. And the thing is, it's sealed. There's no way to get out. So once 5 people are entered into that submarine, they seal it outside. That is it. So God forbid something happens, you're trapped in there. You can't get out. Again, red flag to me. Like, that's why I will never put myself in that situation, because that is scary. So when shit hit the fan, how the hell you can escape? How the hell you can get out? You can't. Crazy.
We've been out to the Titanic. We went out in 5 8-day missions. We did about 10 dives to the wreck site of the Titanic, and we did an extra dive on an undiscovered reef that we found. Completely privately funded operation, and we're funded by, we call mission specialists who help support the mission. So they take quite a bit of money to come and join us. Years ago, the Russians took tourists out to the Titanic, and it was just sort of a look and see thing. We really are focusing on the science around it. We want to document what the wreck is like now, and also try to predict what it'll be like in the future. It's continuing to decay, and it seems to be accelerating. It's being eaten by a bacteria, so it's literally being eaten by the ocean. It's not rusting away. So these things that are called rusticles are actually the byproduct of a bacteria that eats the iron. And as it does that, these decks are collapsing. The promenade deck continues to collapse
How's that
forward.
fascinating?
We saw some of the railing is starting
Leave
to
those souls
lose
be
its structural
alone.
strength, which is really a sad thing. That's when it's going to stop looking like the Titanic. The interest in the Titanic is the reason we go there, because people are willing to fund this kind of exploration and science, and that gives a completely different research component that almost nowhere else in the deep ocean can you get funding to go back every year for decades and see how coral reefs develop and see how metals decay and see how currents change. I mean, that just, you can't justify that. No government will pay for that. Nobody wants to go back to just some old reef.
Why.
But people do want to go back to the Titanic.
Why?
And that's why we go, is because people want to go.
Read a book. I'm sorry. Like, really? Why do I want to see Russ declay? You know what I mean? Why? For what? What factuation do I want to do that? Obviously, to each his own. Some people want to see that. Who am I to judge? My thing is why. You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous to spend X amount of money to see a ship that's just going to decay. You know what I mean? Getting rust every year or whatever. It makes no sense. That's why you read a book. That's why you watch videos. That's why you go to the museum when they have artifacts and stuff like that. To go deep in the ocean to see what? For it to continue to rust? Makes no sense to me. But hey, what people do with their money is their business. As long as they know all the risks involved in this, and if they're okay with the risk, then hey, beyond me. You know what I mean? To me, I'd rather be out here, not down there in the water to see Titanic. I have no interest of doing that, but you know what, to each his own. But you definitely should check out the documentary on Netflix. It's very fascinating. It's sad, to be honest with you. It's sad that you have this CEO, which he seemed very smart and very brilliant, and he had a lot of things to offer, and he just couldn't. He couldn't put his ego aside, his narcissism, and just work together with his team to do something great that he can look back if he was alive to say, you know what, he did this, instead of like being a competition to other billionaires out there that done stuff amazingly in the past. And look what happened. Now he's no longer here, and people are trying to figure out why this happened. Could have been prevented, yes, because they've been warned. People warned them, and people didn't want to listen. They didn't. They just wanted to do what they wanted to because of the money. They wanted to make other people happy, the investors and stuff like that, instead of the safety of people. And that's the most important thing: safety opposed to money, because money rules all evil, you guys. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Definitely check out the Netflix documentary. It's amazing. It's good. Let me know your thoughts about it. And again, thank you so much for watching, you guys. That's it. And I will see you guys next time. Take care and God bless. And I love you all. Bye.